And look at you. You're living in the white community. They didn't invite
This
you to
is
come and
not a
live
white
there, and yet
Can
you
I
hate
just
the
say this?
whites and you hate the Jews.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
It's not just whites. They're Indians here. They're Arabics. They're Chaldeans. So, and they're black people. So why can't we come to a nice area that doesn't have graffiti?
Because
That doesn't have
you people are so
beat up
destructive.
What?
You people are so destructive. No one wants you in their neighborhood. Do you blame them?
They're poor white and they're poor blacks and poor
But not in
Mexicans.
the,
It's not just black.
they're not in the suburbs.
I grew up in the suburbs in a middle class black family. So what are you talking about? Am I supposed to go to the hood?
Yeah.
And stay there? If my parents
Yeah.
raised me in the hood.
They should have. You have a hood mentality.
You have a hood mentality. Jesse destroyed this race beta, guys. Welcome to Culture War. Here, Jesse really slammed and destroyed and dismantled this race beta. He's doing very well. He lives in a very good neighborhood, but still, he still has a thing for the white people. I don't know, this victimhood mentality and this race hustling and this race hatred, it's so engraved in some people that there's nothing you can do. They actually need spiritual deliverance. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. So without further ado, as usual, let's dive in.
Thomas is out of Michigan. Thomas is a nice name. Let's tell my wife if I had one have a baby, I'm going to name him Thomas. It's such a nice name. Hey, Thomas.
All right. How are you, Jesse?
All is well, Thomas. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You got me wanting to ask a million questions. I called, first of all, to ask you.
You said I got you about a million questions?
Once I listen to you, once you start talking, you make me think of stuff to ask you, but I've already called in to ask about. I wanted to ask you, do you want the times to go back to like the 50s or the 40s, how it used to be when blacks didn't have rights and stuff like that?
Yes.
Why?
Because in those times, black men and black women were of God, and they didn't blame, they didn't whine, they didn't wimp. They worked hard. They respected the order of God in Christ, Christ and man over woman. And so even though there were some restrictions there, the people were not enslaved by that because they were free within. They loved God. They loved one another. They were not violent. They didn't blame the white man. They knew that good and evil existed in all cultures, right? So they were not wimping and whining and blaming. They're worse today because they're enslaved within. And they don't.
Wow.
If you notice, most black people don't even think for themselves, especially the men and the women. They follow someone else.
So let me say this. Do you think it's a chance that the new generation of, as myself, a 50-year-old man, we're not like our grandparents or our parents were stronger, and not the ones that are doing crimes and you said begging for whatever free stuff, because I've never gotten free stuff. My parents haven't. We've worked hard all of our lives, went to 2 colleges, did all the right things.
Do you support affirmative action and all that? Reparations and all that crap that they begging for?
Well, let me continue. So do you ever think that maybe we're speaking up and we're voicing our opinions and we don't let things go the way it used to be? Because back then there was a lot of white supremacy. There was a lot of bigotry. There was a lot of, like you said, Jim Crow. So maybe we're speaking up and we're not begging. We're just not buying that no more. The stuff that our grandparents went through, this is a new man you're talking to. Let some white folks try that now. We're not playing. I know I'm not playing, and I live in a predominantly Jewish, white, upscale community.
Of course.
And my money can spend just like this. So if one of these white folks say something to me, they got a problem. They come on my porch or come anywhere near my house. Like you said, we armed. We're licensed. Come over here with that silly shit, excuse my language, and you're going to lay down.
You
we're
realize
not
you
like
sound
what
like
we
a
used to be.
you realize you sound like a weak, pathetic mama
I'm
of a
not
boy,
weak
right?
at all. I'm just
Because
not
what
buying
you
that
hold on,
just for
Thomas,
a
hold on,
math of-
Thomas.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because everything you just complained about doesn't even exist. It's in your
not complaining.
it's in your imagination. And if you're
I'm not
so
complaining.
tough, if you're such a tough guy, why don't you live in the hood?
I lived in the hood, but my
No,
money
why
is
don't you
lost
live in the
now.
hood now if you're
'Cause
so
my
tough?
My money for the past 10 years affords me to live out here where it's beautiful. And we're
Right.
not the only ones
Your
that can live out
money-
here. My
Your money
is green
affords
just
you to
like
live in
their
the
money.
hood. Your money affords you to live in the
In the
white
hood.
folks' neighborhood and the Jewish
That's
people
not white
neighborhood
folks'
rather than
neighborhood.
living in the hood. Why don't you
They
take your
don't
money
own
back
no
to?
neighborhoods.
Why don't you take your money back to the hood
They
and
don't
rebuild the
own
hood?
any neighborhoods. That's
Thomas.
the problem. You think that
I had to put Thomas on hold. Thomas, you're on hold so no one hears you. I want to know, why don't you take your money back to the hood and rebuild your own hood if you're so tough? Why don't you take your money, go to the white community and the Jewish community, the nice areas, instead of building your own hood since you're so tough?
it's not about being a tough guy, Jesse. What I'm trying to explain to you, just like the white lady said, the council lady that you agreed on, she said, can you hear me?
Yes.
She said she wanted it in Marysville to stay white.
Right. Do you blame her?
Well, hold on, just let me finish. Who gives you the right to claim what neighborhood that somebody can come to? You don't own anything. That's what some, I'm going to say some like you, not all, but most, they think that they own something. You don't own the streets that we walk on.
Have you
If I
said
wanna
that to the
spend-
blacks who think that
on, Jesse.
what do you call that?
Now, let me finish my
Gentrification?
point.
What do they call that word? Gentrification?
they're doing
Gentrification.
that here.
So how about those
They're
black
doing-
people who are upset that the white people move back to their neighborhoods and rebuilding it and upping the
Okay.
rent prices, and now instead of the blacks doing the same thing, they're complaining. Do you tell them to shut up?
No, I don't even listen to gentrification and none of that. You can go buy, spend your money wherever you want. My point is this, Jesse. You said it was okay to do that. But when I heard you talk to Richard Spencer and this guy,
Richard!
Jared Taylor, Jared Taylor, they kept saying they wanted an ethno state. They wanted it to be all white. And you were the first person to say to these guys on both interviews, no, don't do that. You're being angry like the blacks. You can't have it all white America. This,
First
that.
of all, I
Well,
don't
this
remember
is-
Jared Taylor saying that, so I think you
Oh,
lied on
come
Jared.
Jesse. No, it's on the internet. I'm not lying. You told him not to do that.
They shouldn't be
They
angry
shouldn't
like the
let
blacks
all white.
because if they're angry like the blacks, they're going to end up in the same ditch that the blacks
Well,
are in. And look at you. You're living in the white community. They didn't invite you to
This is
come and
not a
live
white
there,
commu-
and yet
Can
you
I
hate the
say
whites and you hate the Jews.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
It's not just whites. There are Indians here. There are Arabics. There are Chaldeans. So, and there are black people. So, why can't we come to a nice area that doesn't have graffiti?
Because
That
you
doesn't have,
because you people are so
beat up
destructive.
What?
You people are so destructive. No one wants you in their neighborhood. Do you blame them?
They're poor white and they're poor blacks and poor.
But not in the they're not in the suburbs.
I grew up in the suburbs in a middle class black family. So what are you talking about? Am I supposed to go to the hood?
Yeah.
Stay there? If my parents
Yeah.
raised me in the hood.
They should have. You have a hood mentality.
Okay, my mentality is this, Jesse. You're saying you want America to go back to where it used to. I'm going to give you a news flash. It's becoming brown, and you got a lot of black and brown people standing. White folks aren't reproducing, so they're becoming the minority, and they're breaking under pressure, doing mass killings because they feel like they're losing their country. And it's not our fault. That's God's will. Have some babies, like you said. So they're on their way out. We're on our way. We're
He
not
said
going
that's
nowhere.
God's
We're
will.
having babies after babies.
Which God are you
So-
referring to? The one below or the one above?
I'm talking about God who controls it all.
You mean the one
So
below?
they're not
Your
having
God,
babies.
your
So
God, which
whose
is
fault-
below?
Whose fault is it that they aren't having babies?
It's their fault. They should have white babies.
Okay, so therefore, what goes around comes back around. They was dominant Now they're not dominating no more. So you see them cracking under pressure, shooting everything up and angry. And I hear you talking to them. Don't be angry. Don't blame the Jews. No, these white folks are going nuts, and good for them. Because
Amazing.
what goes around comes back around. Their ancestors, they got to pay for the sins of their ancestors.
Amazing.
That's
And
in
you're
your
there to
Bible.
make them pay, right?
I'm not making them nothing. I'm enjoying my life, but I understand how America is turned.
Are you a
And
Christian,
see-
Thomas?
Listen, you see it too.
Thomas, are you a
you said-
Christian?
I was raised as one.
Are you
But
one?
I don't claim a religion.
I don't blame you.
I just think there's.
I don't blame you.
See,
Satan is your daddy.
you think so?
Oh, I know so. Without a doubt.
So if I'm not a Christian, then I'm a Satan.
Right.
A religion that's a white man, King James, a homo. James
So
is
is Satan
one.
white? Satan is not white.
No, I said King James, a homosexual, gave you your Bible. And you
Amazing.
believe it.
Did you know King James?
No, there's documentation of him being a homosexual.
Did you know him?
I don't know him.
So
but
how you
just
call
so
him
know,
names like that? You didn't know him.
Because it's documented facts.
So you believe everything you read?
No, I don't believe everything, but it's documented facts about him. And it's
Amazing.
documented facts of the book. And the
Thank you, Thomas.
19 who
Thank you,
wrote it.
Satan.
Okay.
Bye, Satan. Amazing. So you hear that, white people. I wanted you to hear that. They're coming after you. We're going to have South Africa in America, people like Thomas, take over. Amazing. I wanted you to hear that, so I was quiet so he can say it. I'm not making this stuff up. You are hated for no reason at all except that they are children of Satan. These people hate God. They hate the order of the family. They hate America. And you're just all nice and not standing up, not speaking up, not getting married, having truckloads of babies. I'm warning you, you're going to end up like South Africa. If you doubt it, you just heard Thomas.